Welcome to the Observeday podcast, the show where we celebrate the days that matter. From holidays to meaningful observances, we bring you inspiring conversations, stories, and ideas to make each day count. Whether it's raising awareness, learning something new, or simply sparking joy, this is your space to explore the calendar in a whole new way. I'm your host, Wisdom Okonkwo, and I'm excited to share today's observance with you. Let's dive in. Today on Observe Day, we're celebrating National Pizza Month by diving into the story behind one of the world's most beloved foods. Our guest, Erica D Arcangelo, is the author of A Story About Pizza, a historical fiction book inspired by our own family's journey from Italy to America. Her grandfather's dream of opening a pizzeria turned into a family legacy, one that shaped her upbringing and continues to inspire our writing and projects today. Erica is not only a storyteller, but also a cultural guide, helping us understand how pizza became more than just food. It became community identity and the American dream for countless Italian families. Today, we explore pizza's roots, its cultural impact, and why it remains such a powerful symbol around the globe. Welcome to the podcast, Erica.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, October is National Pizza Month. What does this celebration mean to you personally, given your family's deep connection to pizza?
I mean, it's definitely a month to celebrate family and pizza and culture and heritage. And, I was basically born in a pizzeria, and my family's had this pizzeria since way before I was born. 1960 is when it opened. And so this is really a month where, we celebrate pizza not just from my family's place, but from pizzerias all over the world.
Oh, oh. And I know that pizza I know pizza it's important, but why do you think pizza deserves its own month of recognition around the world?
Well, when pizza really started to become popular in America, there were a lot of people returning from the war, and there were a lot of Italian immigrants, and a lot of pizzerias opened, and there were many artisans who kind of like brought pizza to the country. And then from there, we had this whole time when chain pizzerias opened up. And now I feel like pizza's kind of making this like comeback, not just in America, but all over the world, where you have all different people from all walks of life who are very talented chefs and very talented artisans, and they're putting out their own versions of pizza. And it's a really cool time for pizza right now.
Yeah, the title of your book is A Story About Pizza. I'm curious, was that the first choice for the title of the book, or was that after so many iterations and then you're like, oh, yeah, A Story About Pizza, that's a good title, we should go with that.
It was the first choice, and
Wow.
it stayed the whole time.
Wow. I bet
Yeah.
when you thought of the title, you're like, wow, I'm a genius.
Yeah, that was, I don't know why, but that was the very first, decision that I made, was to call it that. And then that was the title that stuck.
Yeah. The book is rooted in your grandfather's journey. Could you share a bit about how his dream shaped your family story today?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my grandfather was an Italian immigrant, and he came over from Abruzzo, Italy as a young boy with his family. And they really came over to America with the shirts on their backs. They didn't have anything, and they were looking for work. And really, one of the only places that was providing work were the coal mines. And so, my great grandfather came over to America to work in the coal mines. And then my grandfather was pulled out of school at 11 years old, and he started working in the coal mines. And he really spent the better part of his life, probably, I would say 30 years, working in the coal mines. He developed black lung. And it's really this story of resilience and never giving up on your dreams.
Oh, 30 years. Oh. And at what point in time did he, we're talking about the dream. What's the dream what we're talking about?
So his dream was to make pizza. He was Italian, he was a very gifted cook, and he was an artisan. And so I think that, his father worked in the coal mines, and that was the path that was carved out for him, but that wasn't what he wanted for his family. So when he opened up the pizzeria, the reason why he opened it up was so that no one in our family would have to work in the coal mines.
Wow. Wow. And one of the things I noticed is that you worked with uh, your father to revive the family pizzeria. Um, and that was where the idea for the book came about. What was the exact spot and point in time where the idea hit you?
It was funny. It was a time when I would drive back and forth with my father to the pizzeria, and he was recovering from heart surgery, and I really wanted him to go there and get out of the house. And at first, he was very grumpy, he didn't wanna go. I told him I would help him with marketing for free, he didn't want me to help him. He was just being really difficult, but what I noticed is that when we started to drive there and back, he would tell me stories about my grandfather and about our family and the pizzeria, and there was just one day when we were driving back, and he was really excited because we had had a really good, busy night, and, I just thought, "You know what? This would be a really amazing story to write down and just share with people."
Oh, oh. And how long did it take you from like I have this idea to like, okay, now I've written the book.
So, I would say it took me a few months because I was really like researching and outlining and talking to my dad and like filming content in the pizzeria. And then, funny enough, I was running my marketing agencies, but I got long COVID. And there was a time period where I really had to stay at home. And that was like very unusual for me to have to just like, stay put.
Yeah.
So, during that time, I really used that time, and it was, like, probably a few-week period where I just would spend 5 or 6 hours a day working and writing the book, and then it took I think I put it down for a little while, and then I was on a trip, and I spent several days again where I kept on it, and I finished it, and then I sorta let it sit for a couple months because at that time, I was like, "I don't know what to do with it."
Yeah. Wow. Uh, wow. A story of Pisa. The title alone just paints a picture in my head, a story of Pisa, compared to a story of resilience. And I'm like, okay, I don't really know what to think. Uh, we've been talking about Pisa. Your dad, your family has a pizzeria. You grew up, uh, for me, I'm having a chat about pizza, and I and I've never eaten pizza before in
You've
my
never
life.
had it?
No, no, no.
Oh my gosh, you need to make it. You want me to
uh,
tell you how to make it?
uh, I don't know why. I don't know why. For some reason, even though it's accessible, for some reason, I feel like uh, I'm curious. Like, what makes it just different from regular food? Like what's
Oh, it's
what's
so
what's what makes it so
good.
special?
Okay, so really what makes it special is like no two pizzas ever taste the same from any place that
Why
you
is
get
that?
them, but they're made from the same ingredients. So I think people just like they use different methods to make their dough and they put different spices in their sauce and they use different types of cheeses and different types of toppings. And so, I mean, I've eaten pizza a lot, like my whole life. And I don't think that like I've ever had like, I've gone to one place for pizza and then another place, and the 2 places ever tasted the same. So that part's cool, and then also just I don't know, there's something about, like, you have, like, a very crispy dough that's also chewy, and then just the sauce and the cheese together, it just really creates, like, a really amazing combination.
Hmm. Okay, I guess I'll have to find that. It's beyond explaining.
Yes, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, yeah. Well, one of the things I noticed about this is me, an outsider perspective, from watching too many American movies. Yeah, they eat pizza and watching too many what's the word? American Italian movies where they eating pizza is usually they order the pizza, right, and then they share it among friends, and that act of sharing, that for me, it creates a sense of community, right? The reason I bring this up is over here, right? When I was very very young, my grandmom would always tell my mom to allow us to eat from the same plate. That if we eat from the same plate, that it creates a sense of of unity rather than everybody just eating from shared plate. And I really don't know where that basis came from, but for some reason, that's what she believed, and I kind of see myself believing that now as I grow old.
I
uh,
mean, very true for pizza because you have 1 plate of pizza and the whole pizza's there, and then everyone grabs from that plate.
yeah, yeah. Well, you mentioned that you have a creative agency,
Yeah,
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 and
marketing.
and and as most creative agencies, you're always tasked with the job of telling stories, whether through books, branding, and how do um, agencies like yours help keep traditions, like Pizza Alive through storytelling. Like you went ahead and you wrote a book, a story about pizza, and we're doing this interview. You're gracious enough to accept my invitation for us to do this interview.
Yeah, sure. So, I mean, with brand storytelling, like, you know, it's really important to understand what the brand is and then to be authentic in the story.
Wow, what does that? What does
Yeah.
that mean? To be authentic in story.
So, okay, like I'll give you the example. So, with my father's pizzeria, my family's pizzeria, I knew that brand really well because I grew up in that. And even though I left home and I explored another career, when I came back, all the elements that made that story special were still there.
Okay.
And so what that was that they're Italian immigrants who were trying to work to create a better life for their families, who had a love of food and pizza and family and wanted to really create something that would be a meeting place for the community.
Yeah.
So telling that story was very easy because it was very authentic because there were two people, my grandparents, who really loved other people and they really wanted people to come in and they were very welcoming. And so the place sells pizza, but really what it does is that it is a place where people can come in and feel like they're home.
Before we dive deeper, I'd love to invite you to join the Observeday newsletter. Every week, I send you highlights of upcoming observances, creative ways to celebrate, and behind the scenes extras from the shows. It's the perfect way to stay inspired and never miss a meaningful moment. Sign up today at observeday.com/join. That is observeday.com/join. Now, let's get back to the conversation.
And so
Mm,
there's a greater story than just come over and get your pizza. It's really about family and keeping traditions alive and also just keeping Italian traditions alive. My father is he very much believes, okay, these were the traditions that we were brought up with. Like on Christmas, we have the seven fish dinner, and that's a tradition that we were brought up with it that we have every single year because it's important. He wants to keep all those traditions going. And this is the opening and keeping that pizza place open is keeping that tradition alive and that dream alive. So with marketing, it's really looking like every brand has their own story. And that story is usually deeper than what on the surface it looks like they're doing.
yeah, yeah. Well, thank you for the response. If you could share a pizza um, with anyone, alive or dead, living or from history, uh, who would that be? And what would the
I
conversation
know
look
this
like?
absolutely. So, I mean, I would say and so many people will be like, "Okay, well, would it be a celebrity? Would it be someone like that?" And, like, would be my grandparents. Like,
Oh,
I would really do anything to be able to sit down at a table with my grandparents and have a pizza now and be able to tell them all the things that we missed over the last however many years apart that, since I've seen them.
oh, oh, oh. I'm curious. Out of curiosity, when? eh, Okay, I'm finding a way to put it. So, because for most of us, I didn't really grow up to see my grandparents from my dad's side, right? But from my mom's side, I saw my grandparents. So how old were you when Okay, before I ask this question, your grandparents still alive?
No, no,
Okay,
I've all 4 of them have passed away.
okay. Uh, how old were you? Like I'm trying to say, like how far off in terms of were you a child when you lost them, or were you like an adult? How much
So I
memories do
lost
you have of them? That's what I'm trying to hint at.
Of course, of course. I mean, my grandparents they really helped raise us. Like, we all lived in the same town and both on my mom's side and my dad's side because both my parents worked at the pizza place and my grandparents ran the pizza place. And then, my mom's parents they lived 2 blocks away. So we were always with our grandparents. I lost my grandfather, who the book is about back in 1999, which was a really long time ago.
Yeah, that's a long time.
Yeah, and then my grandmother, I lost her in 2007, and I think my other grandfather was a few years before that, and then I just lost my last grandmother
Oh,
about
so sorry
6
to hear
years
that.
ago. Yeah, just very recently, and funny enough, she had never been to Italy, and I think it was not too long before she passed away, but we took her to Italy for the first time, and she, went to the Vatican, and she got to see the Pope, and, like, it was really, like, a
Yeah.
very special trip for her, but, I was very lucky to have my grandparents, at least one of them or 2 of them in my life for most of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. You can say that
Yeah.
again. You were very lucky because for sometimes I reason I'm like, wow, I didn't really get to like enjoy my grandparents as much as I would have loved to. No, and now like, hmm,
Yeah, it's an
saddens
important
me.
relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, my grandparents really showed up for us, like, when we had, school things and dinners and holidays, and, like, we really were very close with our grandparents.
Yeah. We're talking about pizza, and one of the things you mentioned is the no two pizza, you know, no pizzas from how did you put it? Have the same taste, right? And what's your favorite personal favorite style of pizza?
My favorite kind of pizza? Well, my favorite pizza of all pizzas is my family's pizzeria.
Okay.
That will always be my favorite pizza, but funny enough, so my family, I have 4 brothers and sisters and my parents, and we're on a group text all the time, and we talk about our favorite pizzas all the time, and I have a top 10 list, and so it ranges from, my parents' pizzeria to there's a pizzeria in Italy in a little town called Lucca that was like the original pizzeria, and it's been open for hundreds of years, and that pizzeria is right up there, and I think as I go and try more pizza, I kind of, like, will add ones and take ones off of my list, but I usually keep, like, "Okay, these are my top 10 pizzas."
Yeah. Oh, what's the top one?
Top 1 is D Arc's Pizza in Wimber, which is my family's pizzeria, and
Okay.
then I think my number 2 pizza was the pizzeria in Lucca in Italy, and then there's one in Tampa in Florida it's called Cristino's, and the owners are from Italy, and I mean, I've been going there for about 20 years, 25 years they've been here, but I think they've even been there longer, and that pizza is legitimately so good.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Each time you mention the word pizza, I'm just salivating.
Yeah. It's not
Ah,
yeah, it's time to go get some
ah,
pizza.
I wish this was in person. We probably would have been enjoying a nice piece of pizza right now while we're having this conversation. Maybe next year
Mhm.
we'll do something like that. Who knows?
Yes.
Okay. If you could host a national pizza month celebration anywhere in the world, where would it be and what would it look like?
Oh, that's such a good question. So I would say it would
For
be
creative
Italy.
freedom.
Yeah, full creative freedom, I'd say probably like Rome
Why?
and
Well, you
just
switched from Italy to Rome. What happened?
Just it's so busy there, and there's so many different people, and I just feel like it's a really cool city. So I
Okay.
feel like that would be my one choice and just have, a lot of people and a very beautiful table and people sharing pizza and laughing. But the other place would be probably my family's place because it's
Where's
very
that?
special to me. Like it's in Pennsylvania, out near Pittsburgh,
Okay.
Pennsylvania. Um, and I really do love, the Northeast. New York City would probably be my 3rd option.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of options.
Yeah.
I probably should write a top 10 for that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That'd
Yeah.
be a good one for a top 10.
Yeah. What are some upcoming projects you'd love to share with us, including the series on family-owned pizzerias in America?
Sure. So, I mean, we're doing, right now I'm doing a podcast, and that's with pizzeria owners and family-owned pizzerias in America, but we're doing, one in Italy, so we're gonna be filming some pizzerias in Italy coming up here,
Well,
and, I have a Christmas book coming out, Italian Christmas book for kids, and then I have a new novel coming out about Italian Christmases, but that's probably gonna be I thought it was gonna be this year, but it's probably gonna be next Christmas.
well, you mentioned the
Yeah.
podcast. Is there a working name yet? What's the
Yeah,
name?
Pizza Story Podcast. We have, I think we just this week was our 36th episode.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, yeah, started in January, and, we have somewhere,
January. Wow.
yeah, and we have somewhere, where I have people join on a platform just exactly like this, and then I have other ones where we go out to the pizzeria and we film.
Wow. And you're enjoying pizzas, right?
Yeah,
Obviously.
of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're for sure eating pizza when we go there.
Yeah. Okay. Wow,
Yeah.
that's fantastic. For me, it's the fact that January, in a short while, the podcast will be 1 year old, and with a collection of stories online sharing the pizza story. I love the name, Pizza Story Podcast. That's the name, right?
Thanks. Yeah.
Simple, straight. Like if I hear the name, I know what the podcast is about. Nothing fancy, nothing clever, nothing confusing.
Yeah, it's about pizza. A lot of people will ask because I've been in marketing for so long if the podcast is about marketing, and I'm like, "No, just about pizza. It's
Yeah.
just pizza."
Yeah, Pizza Story Podcast. Pizza
Mhm.
Story Podcast. Okay. And yeah, I would love you know, to know when the book comes out. Say you said in Christmas, right? Probably we could do an interview, on Christmas and talk about the book. Yeah, please let's let me know when the book comes out.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, that would be great. I mean, it's done. It's been done for a few weeks, and
Oh,
I'm just waiting. Halloween is very big here, so I'm kinda waiting for Halloween, I think, to be done, and then maybe, like, 1st week of November or something like that, but that's for the kids one. The novel, I have to kinda figure out what the best timing is on it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I'm you said December. Hopefully, it comes out in December. Sometimes some logistics. Sometimes it might come earlier than that. Sometimes after December. But whenever it comes out, just let me know, and I'll love to have a chat about Christmas. Because yeah. The name of the podcast is called Pizza Story. The reason I'm repeating the name is just for people who love to dive deeper and learn more about pizza and also amazing stories from all over the world. I could say that, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right, that's right.
I don't want to be saying all over the world when it's just New York City. So I was like, okay,
No, I mean, I've had people from Australia and Italy, the UK, and it's so funny. There's so many pizzerias, like, everywhere in the world, so I'm trying to have as many family-owned places as possible from anywhere in the entire world.
have you had anyone from Africa?
No, not yet. I did have someone from Australia
Okay.
on, but I would love to find one because to me, that would be, like, a cool one to have. I would love to have somebody on from, like, somewhere, China, Japan, and see how they were doing
Yeah.
pizza there.
Yeah, that
It'd
that
be
would be
so cool.
fantastic. I guess
Yeah, yeah, we're
you have
about
to
to
reach
hit
out to them.
Italy. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess for Italy, I feel like Italy that's like more than enough. Like finding pizzerias for Italy, that's like like they will just be rushing you. But other places like I can't think of a place, but places where pizza it's not really uh quote unquote in vogue. Like Italy. When I hear pizza, I think of Italy.
Do you
Yeah.
have a place there that serves really good pizza?
I won't really know because I don't eat it. If I did,
Yeah.
I would have been telling you, oh, I could make some recommendations, but no, maybe in the future when I for some reason pick up eating of pizza, I would be able to make recommendations.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, but I just feel like it would be cool so that you can say we've interviewed pizzerias from over 150 countries. It's a nice marketing thing to say. Plus, it's also cool. Like, now you can say that we've collected stories from pizzerias all over the world because we don't want to be like these American movies that will say the world is coming to an end and it's just America City that's that that the thing is happening. And I'm like, what about Japan, Africa, and all those other parts? I'm like, America is not just the word you get. Yeah, so it's nice so that people can see collection of stories from across the world. Yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much, Erica.
yeah, of course.
Yeah, thanks for starting the podcast. Thanks for writing the book. I'm excited to see what the next thing will be. Probably it will be a Netflix documentary. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Thank you
Yeah,
so much for having me on.
yeah, or a TED Talk on a story about pizza.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's right.
If that happens,
Story
please
about
let me know
pizza.
because I love to celebrate with you. Because now
Okay.
I'm saying it out loud. I know it would happen sooner or later, but if it does, I'd love to be among the first to share the good news with you. Yeah,
Okay, that's awesome.
yeah. Where can listeners listen to the podcast and also connect with you and all the amazing things you're doing?
So, if you go on YouTube, Pizza Story Podcast, we're also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And really, if you search a story about pizza, you can find all the books and the website, and even the website has all the podcast episodes on it. So it's really just Pizza Story Podcast or a story about pizza.
Okay. Thank you so much, Erica. I feel enlightened having this chat about pizza with you. Thank you for accepting my invitation.
Of course. Thanks for having me on as a guest.
Yeah. Okay. That's it for today's episode of the Observeday podcast. Thank you for spending your time with us as we explore today's observance. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and share it with a friend who'd love to celebrate life special days too. Don't forget to join the newsletter at observeday.com/join for more observance stories, tips, and updates. Until next time, keep finding meaning in every day.